I remember the world as a kaleidoscope of giant legs and rumbling sounds. My first breath was thick with the scent of red earth and sweet acacia. I was Scale, born into the dust and the fading light. A new life in a herd that was already a ghost of its former self. My mother, Alara, nuzzled me with a trunk scarred by time and trials. Her eyes, deep and ancient, held a sadness I was too young to understand. From the moment I could stand, my life was a lesson in moving. We never stayed in one place for long. The matriarch, a wizened old female named Zola, would lift her head, her great ears fanning the air, and a low, urgent rumble would pass through the herd. It was a command that resonated in our very bones. Move, move now. I'd stumble to keep up, my small legs aching, nestled between my mother's legs for protection. The world was a blur of thorn trees and vast, empty plains. I learned the stories of our people, not through leisurely tailies under the baobab tree, but through whispers on the wind. My mother would tell me of a time when the herd was 100 strong, a moving forest of gray that drank rivers dry and shook the ground with their passage. They knew every waterhole, every secret path. But now, we were barely 20, a family of shadows, constantly looking over our shoulders. The other calves were my only solace. We'd chase each other in clumsy circles, our high-pitched trumpets a stark contrast to the heavy silence of the adults. But even our games were cut short. A sudden scent on the wind, a crack of a twig that didn't belong, and our mothers would scoop us up, their trunks wrapping around our bellies, pulling us into the silent, anxious center of the herd. The first time I saw the disappearing, I was barely a year old. It was my cousin, Lakey. He was brave and reckless, always wandering a little too far. One afternoon, we were playing near a dried-up riverbed. A strange, sharp smell filled the air, something metallic and wrong. Then, a sound like a whip crack echoed across the savannah. Lakey squealed a sound of pure terror. We turned to see him stumbling, a dark, ugly flower blooming on his side. The adults panicked. Trumpets of rage and fear split the air. My mother shoved me behind her, her body a trembling wall of flesh. Zola charged towards the source of the sound, a magnificent, futile display of defiance. But it was too late. Lakey fell, and the herd was forced to retreat, leaving him behind. The silence that followed was heavier than any I had ever known. That night, no one slept. The herd stood close, our bodies touching, a circle of shared grief and fear. Zola grew harder after that. Her commands were sharper, our pace more relentless. She led us into denser thickets, away from the open plains. She taught us to mask our scent with mud, and to walk on the softest ground, to muffle our steps. We became phantoms, learning to live in the margins of our own world. The watering holes we once owned were now places of dread. We'd approach with infinite caution, tasting the air for the metallic taint of the two legs, the upright walkers who brought the disappearing. My mother tried to keep my spirits up. She'd teach me how to find water buried beneath the sand or which roots were safe to eat. She'd tell me stories of the Great River, a mythical place where the water never ran dry and the herds were vast and safe. One day, Kale, she'd rumble softly, Zola will lead us there. We just have to be strong. But we kept shrinking. An old bull, tired and slow, simply didn't wake up one morning. A young female, separated from the group in a dust storm, was never seen again. Wheat at Schloss. The silence grew, and the weight on Zola's shoulders seemed to become physically visible. Her hide sagged, and her great tusks, once symbols of power, seemed to droop with sorrow. The day my world truly broke began like any other. We were on the move, a frantic, desperate march towards a rumored water source. The sun was merciless. I was walking beside my mother, my trunk occasionally reaching out to touch her, a constant reassurance. Suddenly, the sharp crack echoed again, closer, this time. Chaos erupted. Elephants scattered in every direction, trumpeting in terror. I was knocked off my feet in the stampede. When I scrambled up, disoriented, I saw my mother. She was standing her ground, facing the unseen enemy. Her ears flared, a defiant scream tearing from her throat to give me time to run. Another crack, She shuddered a terrible, violent jolt. Her front legs buckled. Her eyes found mine, and in them I saw not fear, but a command. Live, Kale. Live. Then she fell, and the ground shook. Something inside me snapped. The fear was replaced by a white-hot rage. I turned, not to run, but to charge. I was small, insignificant, but my scream was pure fury. I saw them then, two of the upright walkers, holding the shiny sticks that spat death. They laughed when they saw me, a tiny ball of fury charging towards them. Before I could reach them, a gray mountain slammed into my side. It was Sola. She hooked me with her tusk, not hurting me, but forcing me away. Not today, little one. Her rumble was a raw, guttural command. We run, we live. For her, she pushed me ahead of her, and together with the few remaining survivors, we ran. We ran until our lungs burned and our hearts felt like they would burst. We didn't look back. We were only 7 now. 7 elephants in a world that was trying to erase us. Sola led, Usa on her pace unbroken, but her spirit was gone. I could see it in the way she walked, in the hollow look in her eyes. I walked beside her, no longer a calf, but a survivor forged in loss. The grief for my mother was a physical ache, a hole in the world that could never be filled. We traveled for weeks, through landscapes I had never seen. We crossed rocky hills, the Tour at our feet, and navigated canyons, so narrow we had to walk in single file. Zola was following a memory, a map etched in her mind from generations past. She was searching for my mother's myth. She was searching for the great river. One morning, I awoke to a new smell on the wind. It wasn't the metallic temps of danger or the dry scent of dust. It was damp, rich, and alive. It was the smell of water. A lot of water. A low rumble of hope, the first in a long, long time, passed through our small group. Zola lifted her head, her ears twitching, and for the first time since my mother's fall, I saw a flicker of the old matriarch. We followed the scent, our pace quickening. The dry scrubland began to give way to lush greenery. And then we saw it. It wasn't a river. It was an ocean of green, a valley so vast and vibrant it stole our breath. And in the distance, a sound, a deep, resonant rumbling that was not thunder. It was the sound of other elephants. Hundreds of them. As we crested the final hill, we saw them. A herd so large it looked like the moving forest from my mother's stories. They were gathered by a wide, sparkling river,